There's an old expression that says an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And what that expression refers to, there are things that we can do in advance that will diminish or abolish the necessity of having to deal with some problems that we would not have had we dealt with it in advance. And the same is true for fires. You know, this is National Fire Prevention Month, and so I thought it would not be robbery if we would sit down with an expert on fire safety and fire education to talk about, you know, what one can do and what we can do and what the community can do and what households can do in an effort to not be put in the situation where we got to deal with a fire. And fire education is important. Too often we take things for granted. Too often we don't realize the resources that are available. And much too often we get information and news about, you know, the tragedy of a fire having occurred in our community. Well, I got some good news for you. You know, we've got with us today Mr. Jeremy Webb, who's a fire safety education expert. Can I call you that?
That's right.
And we're going to talk about fire prevention. But first of all, say a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Jeremy Webb. I'm the fire safety educator for the Macon-Bibb County Fire Department. I'm 30 years old. I have a wife and 2 beautiful daughters. I've been in Macon about 10 years now.
Okay.
So I've been enjoying it ever since.
Okay. How'd you get into the fire thing? I mean, and you're young and have been in the fire business for quite some time. And the reason I'm asking you this question is because you're a young man. And then, so what happened, you know, for the benefit of other young people who feel like, you know, they might want to delve into an area to make them successful. Early on, what happened to you to make you all that, you know, all sharp and got on all that shiny gold and got that title and all of that? What did you do?
Well, I had an uncle that was in the fire service, and he inspired me a lot. I've seen what he did on a day-to-day basis, and how people looked up to him and the influence he made and the impact he had on the community. And that inspired me to become a firefighter. And once I became one, and I loved it. I enjoyed it ever since. So I made it a career. So I said, if I'm gonna make it a career, I want to go advance as much as possible. So I continue to educate myself, take classes, courses, go back to school, things of that nature.
Okay, now really, what does your job entail?
Well, I'm the fire safety educator, so as the educator, it's important for me to put out education on fire safety. So no matter if I go to school systems, churches, any type of public event, public information, anything like that. We do hands-on, or I do hands-on fire extinguisher training. So if you have a fire extinguisher at the house and you're not comfortable with using it or don't know how to use it, I will come out and teach you hands-on how to use that.
You mean there's a need to be trained on how to use a fire extinguisher?
Yes.
So I can't just go and buy one and then have a fire in my house and just start operating that fire extinguisher?
Yeah, well, with a fire, the wrong time to learn is in case of emergency. That's the wrong time to read the instructions. Because time is the essence. But I tell you, I did a study the other day on statistics with 87% of people actually have read the instructions and feel like they know how to use it, but less than 50% have actually used one hands-on. And in case of emergency, it's a whole lot different hands-on than it is with the instructions. So what our training is built to build the confidence of the person on how to use the extinguisher and teach you the different classes that the extinguisher put out, how to properly maintain it, inspect it, proper placement, different things like that.
Well, that's why you own it. Let's talk about all of that bit, since you just happen to have one here.
Yeah, since we happen to have one. This is your most common type of fire extinguisher that you will find in your home, in schools, and public events, and churches. This is an ABC multi-purpose fire extinguisher, whereas it'll put out classes A, B, and C fires. Whereas your class A fire will consist of ordinary combustibles like paper, plastic, wood, upholstery, anything that produces ashes. And remember, it's A. And class B is going to be for our flammable liquids, like grease, gas, oil, kerosene. And class C is going to be for electrical fires, like outlets and appliances. And anytime we use the extinguisher, we use a phrase called PASS. P-A-S-S. It stands for pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. So on every extinguisher, you're going to have a pin on the side. You'll pull that pin out, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the trigger, and sweep side to side to extinguish that fire. And you want to make sure you're about 6 to 8 feet away from the base of the fire. So maybe you had a grease fire and you're standing too close. That grease won't splatter, the fire won't spread. So you want to be about 6 to 8 feet away. So that's some of the information we'll give out, the educator. And not only that, these extinguishers have pins on the front. A lot of times people ask me, how long do extinguishers last? That's one of the most common type questions I get. There's no exact date. Statistics show between 5 and 15 years, just depending on the placement of them. You know, if it's placed in a climate control area, it may last closer to the 15-year mark. If it's outside in the element, it may not last so long. So one thing you want to look for is in that gauge, it has 3 zones: a overcharge, a recharge, and the green zone. You want to make sure that pin is always in the green, means fully compressed and ready to go.
That's outstanding. Now, let me ask you this. So are you suggesting, Mr. Webb, that there should be a fire extinguisher everywhere in your home and in your business?
Yes. By code, you should have one in every business in Macon-Bibb County. But as added protection, I would advise anyone to have one in their home. If you can use fire extinguishers for small contained fires, so if you can catch it in incipient stage, which is the beginning stage, it's great. It does a great job. But anything bigger than that, just get out, call us.
Call the fire department.
Call us.
Okay, so one thing I've noticed is that there are, and that this kind of education is very important. There are other items that are necessary or that are useful in detecting and preventing and extinguishing fires. Talk about those items for a minute.
I'll tell you what, in the household to begin with, we would love, we need everyone to have a working smoke alarm. And that's number one, because that's your first sign of letting you know it's a fire in your house. Statistics show over 50% of house fires start at night while we sleep, between 10 at night and 6 in the morning. So it's very important that we place these smoke alarms in the hallway of our bedrooms. That's the best place to put them. Because it's a big misconception, you know. A lot of people think the kitchen is the best place to put smoke alarms, but it's actually the worst place to put smoke alarms. Because if you're in the kitchen, you're boiling noodles and that steam, a lot of times it set those smoke alarms off and it causes a lot of false alarms. And the problem we have in the fire service, a lot of people get tired of those alarms going off and they'll take the batteries out. And when they need them, they won't work. All right? So make sure you test your smoke alarms monthly, change the batteries in them twice a year, and make sure they're not out of date. A lot of people don't know smoke alarms have an expiration date. On the back of every smoke alarm is the date of manufacture. 10 years from that date, you should replace your smoke alarm. Statistics show, studies show that after that 10-year mark, smoke alarms start malfunctioning, the sensors start going bad in them. So every 10 years, replace your smoke alarm with a new
Now,
one.
one of these should be in every home.
In every home. Every home should have a working smoke
And
alarm.
apartment. It doesn't have to be, but then if you are renting, then there's another process in having a smoke alarm. Is
That's
that
right.
correct?
Now, if you do have, if you are renting your property, if you are a tenant, the landlord is responsible for supplying your smoke alarm. Also in apartment complexes, the landlord is responsible with supplying a smoke alarm. Now, if you're buying your home, the fire department actually will come out and install these smoke alarms free of charge. We're also
If I own a house, you could just come out and put a smoke alarm in my house?
That's right. If you call us.
No, but you're trying to suggest that there's no excuse.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse not to have one, because we'll actually come out. Not only will we replace the smoke alarm, if you have an existing smoke alarm and the batteries need changing, we'll come out, we'll replace the batteries for you. We'll come out, we'll test them for you. And if need be, we'll replace the entire smoke alarm.
For free.
For free.
Okay. Now, but if I want to be protected from carbon monoxide, that's kind of a different story.
Yeah, now that's a different story. Now, I tell you what, not only in every home you want to work a smoke alarm, but you want a carbon monoxide detector. Now, unfortunately, we're looking for a grant for those, but we haven't got a grant for the carbon monoxide detectors yet. But you can purchase one on your own. They have some detectors like this one, which is a dual detector, which it'll detect smoke and carbon monoxide. So it's a 2-in-1. And not only that, it's, in a way, it's a smart alarm where it will talk to you. So if you have small kids like myself, and they're not familiar with that noise, it'll talk to you and tell you it's a fire emergency. You need to get out.
So that one will talk?
This will talk to you. I'm going to demonstrate.
Fire.
And also, like I said, it's a dual detector, so it does carbon monoxide as well.
Okay.
Warning, carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Wow. So you most strongly suggest that you just go ahead because, paying $25 to $50, whatever it costs for a dual alarm, and also prevention is worth a pound of cure.
That's right.
So
that's correct.
you just may as well go ahead and get you a nice alarm and just look in that camera right there and encourage everybody to do that.
Every household should have one. Last year, we had 7 fire deaths in Macon-Bibb County. The year before, we had 10, where we fell number 3 in the state with the most fire deaths. This year, we're at 0. So we encourage every household to have a working smoke alarm so we can keep that 0 rate throughout the rest of the year and next year and through on the end of time.
Right.
To keep everyone safe. So having a working smoke alarm comes number 1 in every household.
Okay, I'm gonna let you give the number in a minute. So you got a lot of items over here that's related to putting out fires. So let's talk about them.
I'm gonna tell you. So the number 1 place that fires start in the household is in the kitchen because unattended cooking. So in a lot of times we think of fire, we think of water, but that's not always the case. If you have a grease fire, you should never put water on a grease fire. So I'm gonna tell you some of the things that you can and some basic household essentials that you may have around your house. Number 1 is baking soda. You can put baking soda, it can help extinguish a grease fire. Baking soda will do it. It's really effective for a grease fire.
So you just take it in.
You take it and dash it on there, and it will extinguish that fire. And not only that, salt. But you're gonna need the big thing of salt.
You can't get the salt.
You can't get the sprinkler, the salt sprinkler. You gotta get the big thing of salt, and it's really effective for a grease fire as well. And also, fire needs 3 elements: heat, fuel, and oxygen. So you can use a lid, cover it, smother that fire and put it out as well. And like we said earlier, an extinguisher will do the trick. ABC fire extinguisher, that'll be a Class B fire that would extinguish a grease fire. Also, they make these little fire stops, which is really handy. They go above the stove and they act as a mini fire extinguisher where they have a wick on the bottom. Once the fire gets so big, it'll light that wick and then it explode and extinguish that grease fire.
Put it out.
It'll put it out, and it's really effective. This little thing is like a small giant in a way. It'll extinguish a grease fire.
So now what they do is, that's a magnet?
On the top is a magnet, so it'll magnetize to your hood system or anywhere above the stove, and it will explode and shoot out the extinguishing element to put out that fire.
Oh, that's outstanding. That's outstanding. Well, I see you got more contraptions, so while you're on a roll, let's talk about it. Why you got this here?
I'm gonna tell you, being that we are about to enter into the holiday season, we have an issue with overloaded outlets. It causes a lot of fires here. Overloaded outlets. People running extension cord after extension cord after extension cord and hooking up space heater after space heater after space heater. We have a big problem with that here in Macon-Bibb with causing fires. So I brought the extension cord as a reminder, don't hook up, overload your outlet. Extension cord after extension cord after extension cord, space heater after space heater. And make sure you give space heater space. As we enter into our winter months, that's our peak season for fires here in Macon-Bibb County because of improper heating of the home. A lot of people like to heat their home with the stoves. Sometimes we have space heaters that we have too close to our furniture before we fall asleep, too close to our bedding, and we wake up and we happen to be on fire ourselves. We experienced that a while back, a fire death like that. And we don't want to see anyone die off a house fire, so that's why we try to get out as much as possible and educate the importance of that. So this is a reminder not to overload your outlets. Also, like I said, we've been experiencing some bad weather, And candles is a big starter in house fires as well. Candles. So those little things can cause big fires. I know a lot of times we like to use candles when we have power outages, or just because it keeps the house smelling good. But if you're going to use candles, put them on a sturdy surface, high, away from pets, animals, and things like that. But if you have power outages, we suggest that you use flashlights. And this flashlight in particular is a special type of flashlight where it don't take batteries. You don't have to buy batteries. I know a lot of times we get flashlight batteries, we done went dead, and when we need them, they don't work. But this one, you can actually just wind it up, and it works like that. And it'll last you forever. You get these from any type of hardware store pretty much out there. They'll sell these as well.
Now, it's just called a wind-up flashlight?
Yeah. I don't know.
Just go in the store and say, give me one of them flashlights to wind up. Okay, well, that's very good. And then, my office is upstairs. And then there's no back door to me. And so, looking at this contraption, could that help me if I need to get out? And if the fire is this way, and I got a window right here,
I'll tell you what, this right here, it's something that you don't see too often. A lot of people don't know about this. This is I go and speak for people that have multi-story houses. A lot of people have multi-story houses. So this right here is called a fire escape ladder. And what we encourage every household to have 2 ways out. So if you're in a bedroom and the way you came in is blocked and you have to go out through the window and you live in a multi-story house, you can use this contraption where it'll hang on the outside of your window and allows you to climb down without potentially getting hurt. So it's called a fire escape ladder, and you can purchase this at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. I believe their online store has it as well, and they're pretty affordable. I believe this one was about $30, and it'll hold about 300 pounds. And then they have heavy duty escape ladders. So they have one with chain links on the end. So you get them customized is whatever weight requirement that you may need.
And it behooves you to just keep one of those upstairs near window, where you've got easy access to.
Yeah, you definitely want put it in an area where you can access it very quickly. So if you did have a fire emergency, you can go to it, you know exactly where it is, you can put it on the outside of the window, drop it down and climb down the same thing.
Okay, talk about the relationship, it's getting cold, and I guess that's why they have Fire Prevention Month in October. Talk about the relationship of the weather to fires.
During the winter time, a lot of times we use heating elements to heat the home. So it's an increase in fires around that time of the year. So this is one of our main times we go out schematically just to educate the people in the importance of proper heating of the home, not overloading outlets, not having space heaters too close to the house, or too close to the furniture within the house, and different things like that.
Okay, now is there any kind of general rules? And it's so sad, that oftentimes, we have fires that are caused by preventable behavior, not necessary behavior. So we want to talk about some of those behaviors that generate the danger of having fires in the home when we come back. This is a call to action.
Call to action.
And I'm the host, Alex Habersham, and I got so excited when I saw this young man in the uniform till I didn't really introduce him properly, but this is Mr. Jeremy Webb of the Macon-Bibb County Fire Department, and I just want to say, fine young man. And the reason that it's exciting to me to interview him because I'm one who believes in motivating young people, all young people, but particularly all their brothers. I think he's an example to young brothers that, you can have a concept, an idea, a dream, and an ambition, and it'll come to fruition and reality. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Alex Habersham. It's that time again. We're in the process of publishing the 2019-2020 edition of the Macon-Bibb, Georgia Black Pages. And I want to encourage everybody, if you're in business or if you've got something that you would like to promote, if you want exposure in the community, then you need to give us a call so we can have your company and or your business in the upcoming edition of the Black Page, because it's going to be hot. We're going to feature young people in the community who are active in the community, because I think they need the recognition just like you need recognition for your business to generate more business throughout Central Georgia. That's the Macon-Bibb, Georgia Black Pages 1920 edition coming up, 2019-2020 edition coming up real soon. Give us a call at the office, 478-464-0074, and be a part of this edition. Guess what? You cannot afford not to advertise. Call us. Oh, we were talking about certain actions on the part of not only adults but sometimes kids. So just talk about generally what we need to be conscientious of about not having fires in our homes.
And like I said, as these winter months approach, be mindful if you do have kids and animals and you're using space heaters, to give them space. Space heaters should have a 3 feet of clearance all the way around in a child-proof zone or a child safety zone. They do have space heaters now. If you're going to invest in space heaters, have one with an automatic shut-off switch, where if you do have small pets that run around the house that may accidentally tilt those space heaters over, if they're tilted over, they'll automatically shut off. So that's a good plus to that. And as we light up our fireplaces, be mindful. Holiday season coming up. A lot of times we like to decorate our fireplaces with ornaments and our stockings and different things like that. Be mindful that those things do catch fire. So, and then keeping a child safety restraint fence around your fireplace will reduce burns. We go to many calls yearly with small kids or animals that get burned from getting too close to the fireplace, or their clothes catch on fire by getting too close to the fireplace. So investing in a child safety fence around the fireplace is a really good thing to invest in as well.
Oh, that's outstanding. This is a call to action.
Call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Mr. Jeremy Webb, Fire Safety Educator for Macon-Bibb County Fire Department. What does burning leaves ever start fire, or burning wood and stuff like that?
Well, here in Macon-Bibb, we just lifted the burn ban in October. And October the 1st, with the first day for burning. But if you do choose, I know with this bad weather, we've had a lot of debris falling from trees and different things like that. And if you are going to burn, you would have to get a burn permit. The burn permits are free, but you have to call down to our fire prevention office and get that permit, because certain days we don't allow burn, depending on if it's overcast, depending on the weather conditions, basically. And then the number you call for that will be 478-751-2700. And some of the requirements of getting a burn permit would be, it's only for small yard debris, no trash. You can't burn stuff like that. You can't burn house trash or anything like that. It's for small yard debris.
You can't burn your neighbor's house down.
You can't burn the house down either. You can't do that. It's for small yard debris like limbs and different things like that. You have to have a water supply outside, and it have to be out by dark.
So you got to have a water supply outside.
You have to have a water supply
so you can put it out if something happens.
That's right. And it has to be away from the structure. No overhead obstructions or anything like that, because they can catch. Piles no higher than 3 feet. Small portions.
That's outstanding. So what if somebody wanted to get more information on fire safety education? What kind of work do you do, outside of these walls in the community?
Yeah. Well, if they want to get more information, they want us to speak to their neighborhood organization, or maybe a church that they have, or even the business. If they have a business, they want their business to be more fire safe. They want to practice or establish a fire escape plan within that business, or they want us to come out and teach extinguisher courses in their business, or in their home, or in their church. We have a lot of deacons that take those classes and different things like that, especially with churches having kitchens and hood systems. We cook on Sundays. They can call us in fire prevention. Our number is 478-751-2700. And we're open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5:30.
Well, let me just say this. now that we have been informed on fire safety education, this is Fire Prevention Month, and I guess, I tell you what I think you ought to do. I think we ought to be more conscientious, because we don't want to wait until it's too late. So we want to take this information in. This young man's name is Mr. Jeremy Webb, and his phone number again is
478-751-2700.
So you can, all you don't know, which is a lot, if you're anything like me, all you don't know, then you can find out from him. But he has made some suggestions on some tools that we need and can use, like the fire extinguisher and the big bomb here, whatever that is, and baking soda, and then the alarms. But so just don't stand there, do something. So I think you ought to be very conscious, because you don't want a fire. You don't want that tragedy, and you don't want that possible injury. So Jeremy and I encourage you to do what it takes to be safe from fire. Practice fire safety, and we have a fire safety educator to educate and inform you on any information that you may need. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a safe day. Hi, this is Alex Habersham. It's that time again. We're in the process of publishing the 2019-2020 edition of the Macon-Bibb, Georgia Black Pages. And I want to encourage everybody, if you're in business or if you've got something that you would like to promote, if you want exposure in the community, then you need to give us a call so we can have your company and or your business in the upcoming edition of the Black Page, because it's going to be hot. We're going to feature young people in the community who are active in the community, because I think they need the recognition just like you need recognition for your business to generate more business throughout Central Georgia. That's the Macon-Bibb, Georgia Black Pages 1920 edition coming up, 2019-2020 edition coming up real soon. Give us a call at the office, 478-464-0074, and be a part of this edition. Guess what? You cannot afford not to advertise. Call us.